there's one line on your chart that tells you exactly when to get out of a trade. It's not an indicator, it's not a trend line. You just can't see it yet, but it's already on your chart. By the end of this video, you'll see on every single chart, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let me show you. So this is day 3 of the course. In the first day, we showed you why majority of traders lose money. In the second day, we showed you the candle patterns. So now you understand exactly how to look at candles. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys market structure so you can put that all together and then formulate a good strategy that can start making you profit only on day 3. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So let's get into this video here. Basically, what we're going to do in this video, day 3 of the course, is I'm going to teach you how to read the chart and establish whether or not you're in a bullish momentum or a bearish momentum. And once you understand whether or not you're a bullish or bearish momentum, that's when you can start using the candle patterns in the last video to help you make decisions on whether or not to trade, when to trade, and exactly when to exit as well, without using any indicators whatsoever. So over here, what we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly what a bullish trend is and what a bearish trend is. This is pretty beginner stuff, but once we get past that, you're going to understand exactly what to do. So we're going to go ahead and make this chart go all the way here. We're going to take our little brush tool, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what a bullish trend looks like. So a bullish trend is when the price is going up, dips back down, goes back up again, and breaks this high. And we can see it keeps doing that, right? It's like a staircase heading upwards. This right here is a bullish trend. So in a scenario like this, what you want to do is you want to look for buys, only buys. You don't want to sell here. Next, what you call a bearish trend. So a bearish trend looks like this. It's going to go like that. And as you can see, the price is getting lower and lower. You're getting lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, right? Over here on the bullish trend, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, and higher lows, higher lows. Very simple. This is basically a foundation for you to start. On this section, you only want to sell. On this section, you only want to buy. Now, there's a couple of different ways also the market can move. So this is probably going to happen maybe 20% of the time, just a heads up. So a chart is only trending in a certain direction roughly 20 to 30% of the time. That other 70% of the time, if you're a beginner trader, you should not be trading. So you trying to trade every single day as a day trader is actually a detriment to your success. Remember, trading is 90% just watching a chart and looking for the best opportunity. Now, 2 other markets that can happen. You have what you call a ranging market with no volume. So something that looks like this, where it's basically flat, but there's no volume, okay? It's really inside of a small box, right? Which I'll show you an example of after. Or you have a ranging market with high volume. So something that looks like this. It's staying in a box, but there's volume. Now, in this scenario right here, you don't want to trade whatsoever. No matter what, under no circumstance are you allowed to trade that scenario because you're going to lose money every single time. In this scenario, once you get good at trading, then you can start selling at the top and buying at the low. But this is way harder than simply just waiting for buys or sells. So sells here and then waiting for a buy here. This right here is much harder than trading with a trend. But we're going to show you how to do it in this course. So looking at this chart right here, we're looking at right now, we're looking at USD Swiss franc on the 4-hour time frame. And by the way, this works for every single market. So not just Forex, it's for stocks, it's for crypto, it's for futures, it's for options, it's for Indian stocks, it's for everything. Candlesticks is candlesticks, technicals is technicals. Learning to read a chart is learning how to read a chart. Very simple. So over here, we have the 4 different ways the market can move, as I explained earlier. Looking at the chart right now, what do you guys think is the current market conditions? Just pause the video, take a look at it, try to analyze. It's okay if you make a mistake. So if you guessed that it was this one right here, you'd be right. As you can see, guys, right now, the chart is very, very, very easy to see. We're currently ranging in a box, right? Just like over here, how you'd be ranging in a box, this is ranging in a box. So in this scenario, again, what you're looking to do is sell the tops, buy the bottoms. but this is going to be very hard to do, especially if you're a beginner trader. So I don't recommend doing it. We're just going to focus on these different patterns right here, these market conditions. So let's go back a little bit and let's take a look over here. In this section over here from the chart, what type of trend are we in? Very simple, guys. We can see we're in a bullish trend, right? It's a staircase going upwards. So in this section here, we would have wanted to buy all the time, right? How do we know this? We can see over here, this is a high, this is a low, this is a high right there, this is a low, right? Very, very simple. And you can see that this is averaging upwards. So you're looking to buy at the lows. So buy here, buy here, buy here, 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 and you're looking not to sell in this type of scenario. But how do we know if we're in an uptrend or downtrend in the current time, right? Very simple, guys. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and mark your last high and your last low. So over here, we can see very clearly, this is our last high. This is our last low right here. Now, did the price currently stay between that low and high, or is the price higher than that low and high? So right now we can see the price is higher than that high. So this high got broken, which basically means that this is now the new high. So now all we're looking to do here is we're waiting for a new low. And that low cannot be lower than this low. So if this low gets broken, then we're in a bearish market. Very simple. So let's go ahead and just fast forward a bit, see what happens. We formed a new low. We see we're waiting for a V to happen. We saw that we got a V. So now this is the new low. Very simple. And then once we form a new low, we're just looking for the candlestick patterns that I showed you guys in the last video. Now, a quick tip, something about this low right here that you guys have to understand when you're looking at price action charting over here. You see how the price didn't really have a chance to come back down really low before forming that V. And you see how over here you have a lot of uncontested candles right there, right? That have been retested. This is typically called a fair value gap. And you can see very clearly that this V is not going to hold. So what's going to happen? So going for the replay here, we're going to see that the price is actually going to come down very lower. And this V is not going to hold because of this fair value gap over here. This is something that we're going to have to understand, right? So if we press play, look what happens, right? The price goes back down, goes back into that low fair value gap. And now we probably have a better support right here, a better V that we can use for our entries. We just got to look for the candles that we're looking for, right? So for example, over here, if we're looking to take a trade, not saying we are, we can see that we have the, again, little small candle here and calling for indecision. Then we get a big green engulfing candle. So we could probably use that as a trade here. Boom, like that. Our stop loss, something low, probably below this support right here. And then our take profit, we can just target the same highs up here. We can do something like that very basically. And then we see what happens. The price just shoots back up, right? Very, very simple way to trade, guys. You have to understand the market, understand the candles that's giving you the advice of what's happening in the market. And then once you follow the trend, plus the candles that we taught you guys in day 2, you should have around 80% of everything you need in order to be a successful trader. The last 20% is going to be the volume that I was talking about, the footprints, the order flow. That's going to help you tremendously. And that's what's going to actually make you a ridiculously good trader. And that's going to be in probably day 10 or day 14 of this course. But for now, let's continue with some more examples of exactly how to read the chart, take a look at the trend, see what's going to happen. Are you currently in a bullish trend or a bearish trend? And we're just going to kind of get that concept imprinted in your minds right now. All right, so new chart. Let's take a look at it here. Let's establish whether or not this is a bullish or bearish chart. Just take a look at it, pause the screen, mark it down. If you picked bearish chart, you're right. Let me show you why it's a bearish chart here. So over here, we see this is the last high. Over here, we see this is the last low. Before this high, the last high was this one. All right, and this one was higher than this one, which basically means that right now, currently, we are in a bearish momentum. So right now, we're simply just looking for a sell opportunity, guys. We can see the price went back up over here. We could have probably taken a trade over here. So for example, let's just say we got that little trade. We saw a big engulfing candle right here, followed by another momentum right there. This could have been a good trade take if we were looking for sells at this moment. Right now, it's too late to take any trades, obviously. So we're just going to let it play out and see if we can form a new high or a new low, and then try to enter a trade then, if that makes sense, guys. Because right now, this is not a bullish momentum, we're not looking for buys. We're only looking for sells. And it's already looks like too late for a sell because it's already been way past this little high over here that we saw. Moving on, let's check out another chart here. Let's go this one. Now, is this here, looking at this chart, is this a bullish or bearish chart? Think about it. Let me know. Very simple. We can see this is the last high. That's the last low. Sorry, it's tripping out here. That's the last low. And then we got another high right there, as we can see. So now we can see very clearly we're in an uptrend. And then currently, if we move this out of the way, we're waiting on the candle to give us some type of confirmation to enter a trade here, right? Is it going to fall back down to this level here? It already did. It came back down and retested this support right here. And now we're just waiting for candles to confirm our entries, guys. It's very simple. That's it. So now we know we're looking for a buy scenario in this section here. I know all this seems very complicated, but I guarantee you that the more you practice, the more you take trades, demo account or live account with really small money in it, money that you can afford to lose, then the more you're going to understand the strategy and how to read the chart properly, and then start to combine everything that you're going to learn in this course together, and then you're going to go absolutely insane in your trading journey. One last example here, guys, for this video. Very simple. Is this a bullish or bearish momentum chart? Simply looking at it, pause, let me know. If you thought bullish, that's wrong. If you thought bearish, you're correct. It's bearish. Why is it bearish? Very simple, guys. The last high is over here. The last low was over here. We saw that this low got broken, right? It got down to over here. And then we saw it went up, created a high, right? A lower high right here. And we saw a big engulfing candle right there. This actually would have been a trade that I probably would have taken. Something like this. I would have set the stop loss above the high, and I'm targeting a new low. Something like that right here, for example. That would be the trade. I'd currently be in drawdown, but I can pretty much guarantee that the price is going to end up falling and then hitting our take profit. That's basically how you're going to look at it, guys. Very, very simple. Now, obviously, if you're seeing this course, you're probably an Elite Signals member. Everything that I'm teaching you right now also applies if you're using Elite Algo. So, for example, if we turn on Elite Algo here, we can see we got the buys, we got the sells. It's pretty much telling us what's happening on the chart. And then we just use what we know in conjunction with what we're seeing, right? So for example, here, it gave us a sell signal right at that engulfing candle, right? So that just validates my bias. I know I was already thinking sell, right? And then we got a sell signal here. So I'm already thinking sell, guys. And it's that simple to start really trading, if that makes sense. Now, moving on with market structure, there is a elephant in the room because I'm probably sure that you guys have heard of this before from different YouTubers or TikTokers giving you courses, all that stuff. It's called the trend line, guys. So people like to draw trend lines like this, for example, or like this, for example. You really don't know which trend line is the right one, which is why I just avoid them entirely. I think the trend lines themselves are very, very subjective and should not be used in trading. That's just my opinion. If you guys like trend line, this seems to work for you, you can incorporate it as well. But I think trend lines are just a load of nonsense, so there's no point having it. So now that we know not to use trend lines, there is something that's going to help you tremendously, especially with market structure and price action when you're trading, is that understanding that higher time frames tell the bigger story versus the smaller time frames. Smaller time frames like the 1 minute time frame, for example, over here, are much, much easier to manipulate by these hedge funds, these banks, these institutions than the 4 hour or the daily time frame, if that makes sense. So trading on the 4 hour time frame is going to give you a much higher win rate, especially as a beginner or intermediate trader when you're trading. right? So what I would do is I would just focus on swing trading first. So trading the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames. And then once you master those time frames, you can then start going down to the lower time frames. And then you can also use multi time frame analysis. What does that mean, right? So for example, let's say right now we're looking at USD CAD. We can see that the trend was going up, is giving us a bullish trend. And then all of a sudden, right, we have our last low, our last high here, price dip down. It's probably going to continue on that trend, right? So we're in a bullish trend here on this. So then if we're on a bullish trend on a 4 hour time frame, or we're looking to trade, let's say, the 30-minute time frame, we should probably only also look for buy opportunities, right? We don't want to trade the gaps in the candles, if that makes sense. So going against the higher time frames is probably a bad idea, right? So try to have everything match each other, right? This is why when we're using Elite Algo, look at the dashboard. Right now we see the dashboard is showing that it's mostly bullish on Euro USD. So we should probably only be looking for buy opportunities, if that makes sense, especially if you're following the signals. Now, if you're just doing pure price action and you're not using Elite Algo, that's fine. You can still find really, really good setups, right? But trying to match the trend on the higher time frames and on the lower time frames will help you tremendously. That's pretty much it for day three, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below right now. Subscribe to the account. We're going to be doing more courses like this, completely free, more videos, some live trading videos I have planned. I have a buddy who's never traded before. I'm going to teach him how to trade also and show you guys his live progress when trading, especially. If you guys want to see some prop firm account stuff, go ahead, let us know in the description down below, in the comments, sorry. And then just let us know your thoughts on this, and then get ready for day 4 where we're going to teach you even more things about trading.